Had to stay. Ah, yes, it's working. I think it's working. Let me just make sure it's coming on there, the other one. I think this is live. Let me have a look and see. Put this down a bit. Okay. Okay, these lights are blinding. My eyes are playing up again, folks. So excuse me, my eyes are really bad, and this thing's in my eyes. Am I on? Seems to be a wild delay in this. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a wee look. I'm just making sure this is fine. Hopefully. Well, I can see myself. Can you see me there? I am on. Good evening. Yes, you can see me there. Excellent. Okay, nice to see you all. Thank goodness. What a day I've had today. You have no idea. Very, 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 very stressful. You have no idea. And then the wee dog chewed through a cable, like a yelp at it. Electrical cable and got electrocuted, but she's okay. But so with the rewire everything, and oh my goodness, you have no idea. It's just horrific. But we're here. I'm glad to be here. God bless you all. Nice to see you. I see Ewan, and thank goodness for Ewan Eggerstrom. Ewan's see if we can stick a couple of links up for the chapter house now, because we've done so much work and we're battering on with so much work. But Sammy's at the dentist, so I don't have any good pictures to show you because we've been doing a lot of different things. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of different things. I think the last time I seen you, I was showing you these boilers and whatnot. So we're really at the stage we need them. Oh, look at the cross of the wall. Do you like that? That's a belter, isn't it? But I just want to show you some other stuff because we're pulling some of the old walls off, folks. It's quite interesting because behind it we're finding this most beautiful stonework. So we're not going to cover it up. George is going to point it all so we preserve the integral character of the building. But it really is a crucial time. We're getting to the crucial times now, and it's stressing me out no end. Anyway, when you're stressed out, better have a bit of scripture, haven't we? Let's have a bit of scripture here. So we're in the Proverbs. And we're going to be reading from chapter 20 and verse 24. Hear ye the Lord. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own ways? Amen. And may the Lord bless this public reading of his own infallible and inspired word. And the people of God said, Amen. Absolutely. How can any of us truly understand the comings and goings of our own ways? Well, we can't, can we? And I can tell you from today, total and absolute confusion, nightmarish stress, and all the rest of it. And as you probably know, we got our Facebook zapped again. So that's a wee bit an upset. But anyway, we'll see. In fact, I must remember this because I've got a person in the day, Rumble. You try and link to Rumble because we're broadcasting to YouTube, but the YouTubes are dead. I think they're shadow banned. Our X is shadow banned. Oh my goodness! But we'll start broadcasting direct to Rumble and all, I think. But we'll see how we go on. Anyway, how are yous all? God bless each and every one of yous. We're into the dark, dank months of January. Not very good, but I hope the New Year's going well. I want you all to keep in prayer, our men and women. I don't know if there's any women going, mind you. But certainly the brothers who are going to New Orleans for a big pro-life rally, I think next week. Brother Ewan's travelling from the other side of the world. So, and the American brothers are going to be there travelling some big distances. So I hope everybody keeps them in their prayers. It's a wonderful work they're doing and a very important part of our mission. A lot of people think, oh, Templars are meant about fighting and swashbuckling. Not all the time, no. In fact, very little of the time. These pro-life marches and rallies are absolutely crucial. It's a central core tenet of this Templar order is pro-life because there's far more babies being killed than us and far more being killed by the abortionists than the Muslims could ever dream of killing. So pro-life work is essential, absolutely essential. So keep it up. And as you know, the Grand Prior there in Transcarpathia, Dr. Tagleschi, he's world famous pro-life chap. But I must look up one of our old friends in New Orleans, Father Boucher, who was the head at one time of Human Life International. Must see if maybe tie in with him, and that would be it. Oh, it's Friday night, is it really? My goodness. Okay. Come on in. Who's wanting to come in? Come in.
Just be here.
You're fine. Music here. You're fine. You're no problem. I think everybody's tiptoeing now because they're frightened to cause me any more stress, or I might crack up or keel over. But I'm telling you, after a show, I'm going home. I'm going home to lie down because stress doesn't suit me very well now. I get my blood pressure up and it makes me feel rather unwell. So after a show, I'm going to my bed. One of the days. Anyway, things have been going well in America. We've been looking at the ICE stuff happening. We're watching the telly here. And it's incredible, really, because a lot of Europeans don't understand why people get shot in America. I mean, quite even some of our own members have been saying, I don't think there was any need to shoot that woman. You know, this woman, good, same, her name was good, but she was far from it. She was married to another, well, she thinks she was married to another woman. She's a lesbian, supposed to be a practicing Christian. I mean, seriously, a Christian, lesbian. Oh, for goodness sake. But anyway, the ICE guy shot, and it's caused a lot of controversy, as I say, even amongst our people here. Now, I think we've got to remember that man who fired his gun had already been hit by one of these mad lefties and injured last year. I think he got 30 or 60 stitches in his leg, so he's already been injured. So, but look, in America, it's a different country. They've got guns there. And when armed cops or any kind of law enforcement agency tells you, get out the car, what would you do? Now, let's analyse this. This woman had parked perpendicular on the street. She was waving some people by, but she was edging out if any of the ICE boys were coming down. So she was putting herself, and she'd been doing this all day. She'd done it for months, backing up the criminals who've invaded America. So let's just get the context right, okay? Let's get the context right. We have a demented, crazed left-wing social justice warrior. That's what she was. And I was brought up, and you know this, I don't speak ill of the dead. I don't. And I'm not speaking ill of the dead. She was a self-confessed social justice warrior who was interfering with the lawful business of law enforcement officers to defend criminals. People say, well, you don't know all them illegal folk were criminals. They're illegal. The minute they come into the country illegally, they are criminals, okay? So she was spending a lot of her time over the last few months interfering with a lawful business of the organizations that are sworn to defend the people of America, the law enforcement boys, whether it be Border Force or whatever. So she was doing that. And she'd put a 2.5-ton car. Somebody said to me yesterday, don't be stupid, it's not 2.5 ton. I think it is. But anyway, whether it's a ton and a half, a ton, doesn't matter. She'd parked her car perpendicular on the road to interfere with the due process of law and order. And then she was given a lawful order by a uniformed, badged officer of the law. That's a representative of the people. That's a representative, your representative, on the ground saying, get out the car. And she doesn't. And instead of that, she revs her car up. These roads are very icy and tries to drive off. And she was shot. I don't understand why people have got a problem with it. I really don't. Now, is it very sad? Of course it is. It's sad when anybody loses their life. My goodness, it's tragic. But she brought the thing entirely on her own head. You know, I've explained this quite sanely, calmly. And I think in Britain, it's unthinkable that a policeman would shoot you for that. But because cops don't have guns. But in any other country, they've got guns like Canada, Australia, or Brazil, or any of these places. The result would have been the same. She refused to get out of a car. She then tried to flee. She actually did hit the cop. She did hit the cop. And people say, well, it was his fault. He stood in front of it. His job is to apprehend her. So well done. He's a brave man standing in front of the car. But there was a split second. They didn't have much of a choice. And she hit him. And she gets shot. And that's it. So, me personally, I don't think ICE done anything wrong at all. I think it's very tragic that happened. But, as I say, I think the woman brought that upon herself. Listen, I've been in riots. And I remember once the police telling me to stop. And I didn't stop. And I ran. And I was trying to climb over a wall in Belfast. And I seen the bricks exploding right to the side of my head. And I thought, I managed to get over the wall. But anyway, it frightened the life out of me because they were trying to shoot me. But if I'd have been shot, that would have been entirely my fault. You might have said, well, you didn't need to shoot you. In this country, you get these stupid people saying, you just wounded them. They don't understand how firearms work. They don't understand. You get shot in the bottom leg with a bullet, you can fragment and go up and blow the top of your head off. It's just a way. They don't understand. But that would have been my fault. But thank goodness it didn't happen. he had been in his position, I would have shot her. Absolutely, Mitch. I agree with you. I would have shot her. I would have maybe shot her pal as well. But anyway, that's a different story. But it's tragic. And this, it's tragic. And what's going on there? I mean, somebody was telling me the other day. In fact, it was this morning I seen it. There was $1 million per day, not per week, not per month, per day, leaving Minnesota airport. And that money was going eventually to Somalia. 1 million per day. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that in Britain. You can't even move more than 10 grand. But a million per day. These Somalis who've been in that Minnesota and in that state generally have been absolutely rinsing the American taxpayer in an incredible amount of money. Going to daycare centres that don't exist and all this. And the daycare centre has been closed down 2 months ago. It still had over $1 million worth of funding. It's a joke. It's not a joke. It's not funny. Jokes are funny. That isn't funny. They're absolutely robbing the hard-working, decent American taxpayer blind, and it needs to stop. So there we go. I take my hat off to Donald Trump. It needs to stop immediately. So anyway, talk about MAGA and mad lefties. Here's something to cheer you up. Hope it cheers me up because I need cheered up. And this is one man against the mob. A wee bit of rough language in it, so excuse that. But have a wee look at this. This is wonderful.
What's it like defending pedophiles here, bro? Take the blue first. All right. Come on, motherfucker!
Hey, guys.
His daddy taught him to fight. Yeah. He was giving, he was a good boy, wasn't he? He flattened about 5 of them himself. Roger Madison saying, ordered to exit the vehicle and his gas pedal and hit the gas pedal instead of using a lethal weapon. The officer and Spinner made this decision to make. Yes, of course. Yep. Yeah, of course, Roger, you're quite right. And it's a difficult decision for that man to make. He's not a crazy murderer. He's a law enforcement officer. I'm sure he'll be haunted with that for years. But anyway, that other guy, he's brilliant, isn't he? He's bang, bang, bang. That boy can scrap, and I'll teach them. Just shows you what one decent man can do. And of course, he's proud of his flag, and why shouldn't he be? And he was giving him a good old going over. Well done. I think that chap deserves a medal. If we know who he is, we'll send him something. Oh, I see Ewan putting a thing up there for the calendars. Yes, we've got a few. No many. We've got a few left. Was this year's? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Wait a minute, folks. No, that's last year's. Anyway, we've got last year. That's last year's. One of the days, isn't it? One of the days. That's last year's. Anyway. Now, you might be wondering, why am I here on a Tuesday? Because we're rejigging things a wee bit. Okay? We're changing the schedule a wee bit on the pod, so we'll let you know about that. I've just got to okay it all and deal with the sort it out with Jada, and obviously see if we can fit everything together so we're all happy and we've got the whole thing covered for your benefit. So once I speak to Jada and we get the thing sorted out, that'll be good because Jada's very important to us, and we just want to make sure everything's allocated out and that you guys are getting something fresh and whatnot. So, we're talking about bringing back Nick and giving him a channel, the Nick Griffin channel, so he can come on and do his show and everything. Because I know a lot of people miss him, and I've been inundated. I've been inundated with you guys telling me that you miss Nick and his input and his sort of political outlook on things. And I think you're right. He had a lot of trouble. So he had to sort of lay low for a wee while. But that trouble's not going to sort itself out anytime soon. So there we go. And if you're happy to see Nick back, we'll get him back. Okay. Okay, excellent. Right. Another going, because that's the big news now. I know there's news about Venezuela and Greenland. I think you got to remember with Greenland, because folk out over here, folk who like America are absolutely outraged with the Greenland thing, so much might take it. People are outraged in Europe because this is like imperialist stuff. This is no cool, because we lived through these kind of things for centuries. And people go, what? I said, look, chill out. Trump's a businessman, he's a deal maker. I think he's bluffing, and he's just putting the cat amongst the pigeons a wee bit. He's a bit of a naughty boy sometimes. He likes to stir that pot, then throw a hand grenade in and stand back. I don't think there's any intentions of taking Greenland by force. Marion, what's that creature up to? We're always doing something, but we don't know. Yes, she got the wee dog got electrocuted today. You might hear the yell put her. She bit through a cable. Can you imagine? Come here, girl. You want to see if she's okay? Holly, come on. Come here. Come and see him. There's my wee. Come on, girl. Come on. Up here. Come on. Holly. Come on. Come on. Up. Come here. Up you get. Come on. Up you come. Come on. Up you come. Then I'll show you. There we go. Get her up. You come. So she's still alive, I'm glad to say. But she got electrocuted, the poor wee creature, didn't you? You got up there out the road because she's trying to get to you. She's got a new collar as well, a wee tartan collar. But yeah, she got electrocuted. She's only a wee pup, remember? And she got electrocuted, didn't you, silly dog? So there we go. I hope she doesn't go biting. Get out of there. She's back in the same place. Wait, get out. She's back in the same. She's obsessed with hunting mice. And she must have smelled a mouse on the cable and decided to chew it. And she's upped herself, but she's over there again. So, Holly, no. Come on. Don't get in there. So, yeah, she's doing that. So she got zapped, but she's okay. Thank our Lord. Just all the calendar. Well done, Mitch. Do the Greenlanders want independence from Denmark? Do the Greenlanders not want independence from America? I don't think so. No. From Denmark? No, I don't think so. But 87% of them said they don't want to be part of America. So we know that. We know that for a fact. But it's one of the things. But, where do you go with this? I'm sure if you done a poll, for example, in New Mexico, and asked them if they wanted independence from America, they'd probably vote yes. That doesn't mean to say it's right. It doesn't mean to say it's right. But not that I know of. Not that I know of. And if Greenlanders wanted independence from Denmark, that would be in the context as they want an independent country, not under the king of Denmark. That doesn't necessarily mean then they're open to be taken over by another power. So if there's any rebellion going on there, they want to be free, just the same America wanted to be free of Britain. It would have been a poor case if America would have fought the Revolutionary War to be free from Britain and then were taken over by France. No, you wouldn't have liked that. And I don't think the Greenlanders like it either. Just leave them be. And there's no need for it. Donald Trump, and I think this is what will happen, we'll have a deal where a lot of American and European troops will be based in Greenland, and we'll have to tell them, look, we need soldiers here, troops here, warning systems, weapon systems for the safety of America and the Northern Hemisphere. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. And I think if Greenland doesn't really want to do it, then we need to twist their arm. But we can't take the country off them. We just have to say to them, well, look, we hear your protestations and you can still keep the country, but we're putting our systems here because we're worried about China and Russia's influence. And I think that's acceptable. Okay? Yeah, let's get a big naval base and a big air base here and weapon systems and all the rest of it there. And I'm sure a bit of money thrown their way. They'll be fine. They'll be fine, won't they? They'll be fine. Anyway, let's see this other chap. This is going to another ice thing. And I tell you, these ice guys need a bonus because they put up with some rubbish, some garbage. But, I mean, how many years of law enforcement had to put up with this and couldn't do anything because of George Floyd and all the rest of it? These ice guys seem to have been freed from such stuff. And they're given as good as they get. And this one here, this wee clip here will show you. I think this is marvelous.
You think you can stand here and scare us? Huh? You're not protecting anyone. You're the problem. Look at me when I'm talking to you. What are you going to do, tough guy? You going to hide behind that mask? Say something. Say something. Yeah, that's what I said. My eyes. Oh, damn it. Get it off. I can't see.
And again. Let's go again.
You think you can stand here and scare us? Huh? You're not protecting anyone. You're the problem. Look at me when I'm talking to you. What are you going to do, tough guy? You going to hide behind that mask? Say something. Say something. Yeah, that's what I said. My eyes. Oh, damn it. Get it off. I can't see.
Oh, dear. What a shame. Well, he'll be rubbing his eyes for a long time. Absolutely shocking, isn't it? To the Pride Project. Roger stuck in £100 to the Pride Project. Roger, thank you very much, because it's grim now, because we really need to get this heating system in and the pipes and all that, and it's It's 20 grand. I just don't know what to. I mean, 100 quid towards it. We're getting there, but we need a lot more. But the Lord will provide, I'm sure. So, yeah, so that's what's been happening generally, certainly in America, and that's been covering the news. We've also got this carry on in Tehran. And again, sadly, this camera's too high up. That's better, isn't it? Sadly, in the West, and I've got to say this, and I mean no disrespect, but especially in America, you're just spoon-fed nonsense, complete nonsense. And a lot of people here are the same, but here it's only like the Tommy Robinson and the Zios who are pushing out this thing. Tommy was down at the pro-Iranian people thing the other day and with his IDF shirts and all on, and it was full of, strangely enough, the Iranian demo was full of Israeli flags. I mean, it's nonsense. The only thing is nonsense. But don't think for a minute, right? The people there have got genuine grievances and they're genuinely unhappy, right? In Tehran, we know people there. It's the same as Venezuela. They're living in quite bad poverty and things are beginning to fall apart. And say, well, get a new government. Like, look, do you understand why they're living like that? Because America, Britain, and EU have got them under massive sanctions. Venezuela and Iran, massive sanctions. Hardly anybody in the world can trade with them. So that's why the people are in poverty, not because of this crazy government. It's because we have sanctioned them. That's one thing. Secondly, a lot of the people who are agitating and causing the trouble on the streets are agitators. They're left-wing, crazy, woke liberals. They want the freedom for women to be able to not only know wear their headscarf, but to be able to wear bikinis, to be able to have abortion, to be able to have divorces whenever they want, to be able to go to nightclubs when they're opened and have sex wherever they want. That's the people who, this is the freedom they want. And this is the freedom Tommy Robinson, all the other right-wing talking heads in this country are saying this is what their people need. Really? So do you think us bringing McDonald's, KFC and nightclubs and titty bars and half-naked women and divorces and abortion and sex changes and 72 genders, that's going to make Iran just like the USA, just like Great Britain? Yeah, that's great for their people, isn't it? That's exactly what they need. That's exactly what they need. Seriously, we need to be careful. We need to be careful because it's not what it seems. It really is not what it seems. You see the people rioting in the streets and doing all that. It's not what it seems. Believe me. It was the same as Maidan. Remember the revolution we had in Ukraine a few years back? The Maidan, the coloured revolution. Again, CIA, MI6. It's the same in Tehran, although Mossad's heavily involved in it. But certainly in Maidan, well, Mossad, CIA, and MI5 caused the revolution, the coloured revolution in Ukraine, where they deposed a legally, lawfully elected president. There's no questionability over the legitimacy of the election, but we didn't like him because he was pro-Russia. So the West, along with Israel, decided to get him out. And who did they use? A neo-Nazi mob called Azov. Azov, the right bloc, thugs, to depose a lawfully, legally elected president because he was pro-Russia rather than pro-West. So we do this all the time. We do this all the time, and we never learn, do we? So there we go. It's yeah, people want to have freedom in Iran to be gay, because at the moment, if you're gay in Iran, you could be executed, and a lot of them are. But that's the type of freedom that people like Tommy Robinson and some of these talking heads, these right-wing social commentators are saying, oh, they're Iranian people need to be free so they could be gay, or they could be any one of 72 genders, and they can have abortions. Really? Is that the best we've got? Is that what we've got to offer them? Is that why we want to see these people risk their life to overthrow a government so they can be like us? I think we're very arrogant in our conceit, because when you look at our countries, and it's hard for us to look at them because we're in amongst it. But you imagine if you're looking at some other country in the world and it was just riddled with porn, riddled with abortion, riddled with feminism, riddled with wokeness, riddled with gender weirdness and brainwashing children at 4 and 5 years of age into anal sex and stuff like that, you'd be saying, wow, what? And we want to export that to Iran. I don't think these people deserve it. I really don't. And somebody said to me the other day, oh, we need to get Iran Christian again. Hello, when was Iran Christian? Zoroastrian, and then the Muslims took over. But I don't think I can remember that Iran was a Christian country. And then it's really weird to see Americans who are ferocious Republicans saying, oh, we should reinstate the Shah, reinstate the king. This is Americans saying this. They want a country to be run by a king again. Seriously. it doesn't make sense, folks, does it? Americans cheering on a king to take over a country. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, the king's not really Iranian. I think he's grew up his whole life in America. So there we go. So just be careful with these things. Venezuela, fine well, there's more to that than meets the eye. Same with Iran, more to that than meets the eye. Same with this shooting by the ice guy. There's always more to things than meets the eye, and it just depends who's feeding you the agenda. Now, the problem with America right now is the American media that's friendly with Trump, which is not a lot, and the Trump administration and all the talking heads that Trump uses to get his message across the internet, they are all following a directive. Venezuela invasion, great. The revolution in Iran, great. You see, it's not what it seems. Sometimes they get it right, like the ICE officer was in the right. Yes, correct on that one. The rest of the things, a bit questionable. Wee bit questionable, okay? But we'll see. Because I think we're running into the era now of the new empires. There's no way, America's powerful, but there's no way that they've done that in Venezuela, especially with oil, and knowing how dependent China is, unless there'd been a deal struck. And I have absolutely no doubt that a deal has been struck, and we're going to now see the emergence of three super empires. Imperial. We're now moving into the imperial phase. We'll have America with the Western Empire, we'll have Russia with the Eastern Empire, and the Chinese with the Far Eastern Empire. And I'm absolutely convinced that's exactly where we're going in the world. How will that look? Well, two things. I don't want to be again. I've got to be careful because I'm always ranting and raving about it. I want revolution. It will certainly knock all the left thing with the woke in the head. It'll be very much like a fascist. All of those groups, whether it be America, Russia, China, it'll be very, very, very right-wing, conservative, bordering on fascism. Will they get rid of all the woke stuff? 100%. Will they get rid of all that garbage? Yes. Will they get rid of that LGBT parades? Yes. But living under a hardcore regime like, say, soft fascism, it won't be pleasant either. But I don't think we've got a choice. We either live under pinko communists or we live under authoritarian right-wing dictatorship. That's it. None of them are very nice to live under. We know, because there's countries like that in Europe. We know. None of the two of them are particularly nice to live under, but I tell you, every day per week, every hour, I would rather live under a right-wing authoritarian dictatorship than a left-wing authoritarian dictatorship. 100%. But here's the irony. In a real hard-line communist dictatorship like China, to us, they look right-wing conservative because China has gay parades. Seriously. No, they don't. Think China's 72 genders. No, China puts up with a Muslim threat. No, none of that. So to us, they look like right-wing fanatics, but they're communists. Russia's not communist. I see the amount of Americans that tell me Putin's a goddamn communist. He ain't a communist. He's right-wing, conservative, but he's authoritarian. And I think, now, you ready for this? Drum roll. I don't think you're going to have another election next time round in America. Now, I'll put my neck out here because it could look really stupid, but I'm going to call it. I don't think in 2 years' time, I think it's 2 years' time, the next election is meant to be in America. I don't think it's going to happen. Don't think it's going to happen because there's not enough time for Trump to fix everything in this one term. And if he gets voted out, him and probably his family and half the cabinet or his administration will be put in jail by the mad Democrats for the rest of their life. You know that, and I know that. Some of these police officers will do life for murder or intimidation. So I don't think he can afford to do it. And I don't think he's any intention of doing it. Remember, most politicians are subdued because they're only in for 4 or 5 years, then they're out. So they don't want to do anything too crazy because they might go to jail in 4 or 5 years' time. Trump has went both feet straight in and cleaning things up. Well done. But I don't think he can afford to have an election in 2 years' time. Because if he loses, too many people are going to die, go to jail. So I think he'll use, and I think he's within his rights doing it. I'm not a constitutionalist. Maybe some of our American friends can tell us. But I think under presidential special powers, in times of emergency or war, he can unilaterally postpone an election. I don't know. I'd like some of my American friends who are maybe constitutionalists to tell me that under some sort of special powers act. I don't know. So I'll look at the comments, see if any of you know. Yep. I think it's the Charles is saying Iran before 1970 was more westernised. Yeah, it was, and it was a bit in the thingy. Ewan Eggerstrom saying the last Shah ruled through repression, surveillance, and fear. Yeah, he did actually kill a lot of people. The last Shah was quite a bad guy, but he was friendly with the West. That's all that matters. 2020 is the next election. Emergency Powers Act, Jim. Okay, so yeah, we've only got 2 years to the next election. I think Trump's going to invoke Emergency Powers Act. That's what I think. If I was him, I would. But I know it'll hurt people who are constitutionalists, but I think we have to grin and bear it because I don't think he's got any choice. I really don't. So I don't know what you think about that. Do you think I'm off my head and talking rubbish, or do you think it could be a thing? I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at this. No, I don't know what this is, so I'm going to have to click on it and see what it is. This is them in Tehran, and seemingly they're setting fire to a mosque. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is Tehran the other night. Now, by the way, the uprising, the revolution's died out because the Revolutionary Guard has got a wee bit naughty and a wee bit wild. A couple hundred folk killed, I hear. But anyway, have a look at this. Yeah, seemingly they were setting fire to a mosque, but I don't know if they were or not. Now, it is true that the mosques are shutting down left, right and centre in Iran. There is a big secularisation. 1 year anniversary of the inauguration. It's coming up, perhaps, some special announcement. Possibly. But I do, because look what happened to the people who were there on January the 6th after them crackpot Biden's mob got in. I mean, they really tortured people. They threw people in jail for years for no reason. It wasn't an insurrection at all. Listen, I've been down at Belfast City Hall and we're forced our way in and all that. But these people, so this is why I don't think Trump can afford to even run another election. He just can't do it. He needs to get enough time to get the job done. So listen, I know Donald Trump's got a lot of faults. I am not in favour of him regarding Venezuela. I'm not in favour of him regarding Greenland. However, I still back Donald Trump. He's the best we've got. Because, and he said, but you're British. We're saying the best we've got because it's as simple as this. We're the little cousin of America, and the whole West is dependent on America. And if America goes, we all go. It's as simple as that. So I see British people say, I hate America. We should mind our own business. If America falls, we all fall. Whether you like America, whether you don't like America, it's irrelevant. If America falls, we all fall. And that's just a reality of life. So we have to back America. It's who we back. And I think sensible people and sane people are backing Donald Trump. And I personally think he's quite exciting. He's never a dull moment with Donald Trump, is there? Never a dull moment. So Roger Manson saying 1 year anniversary. Yeah, yep. There could be a special announcement. You never know. Yep. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Time will certainly tell, and we'll see how that goes. But who knows? You just don't know, do you? You don't know. So we just need to wait and bide our time and see. Don't know. What else is happening? Yeah, we're still this year we're trying to do a lot more with social media. It's very difficult because we were doing extraordinarily well on TikTok. We were putting posts up and we're getting 500,000 hits. Now we're getting 500. We're getting 500,000. Now we get 500. So that's been strangled. We had our Facebook page up with a church page, 20,000. It was doing well. There was good members coming in off that. Bang, zapped last week. Just zapped. For no reason, just an utter load of nonsense. Just zapped us. So it's difficult, folks. And we say zap, people say, "Oh, it's terrible." But what you don't understand is that's people like me going home at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and then spending it midnight every night, 7 days a week, coming home from church, even a Sunday night or even a Saturday night, sitting at 12 and 1 o'clock, putting posts up, scheduling posts up to make these things work. And I'd put about 7 months, 6 months. August, September, October, November, December. I put 5 months into that Facebook. Gone. 5 months, hundreds of man hours. So it does get you down. It really does get you down. Upsets you. But listen, we've got to be grown up about this. We can't kick the devil and expect him not to kick us back. So it is what it is. We just continue on. Yeah. Roger says so many Liberal mayors and governors continue to compromising. Yeah, cause division and chaos. Very questionable moves. Absolutely. Yep. There's a lot of these mayors and people in authority. I see them in Minnesota and different other places. They need to be taken care of. They need to be taken off out of power at all. They do that needs to happen. That needs to happen. There needs to be some new laws in America and Britain. But America's got a good chance of doing it. Just saying, you remember the 1950s, the McCarthy witch hunts and all that, un-American activities. Why not? And if you're found guilty of an un-American activity like covering up for fraud or disobeying government orders or abusing your position of power and things like that, you should be gone. I watched a program on YouTube the other night. I couldn't believe it. And I don't know where it is. I think it's Georgia. There's this big black judge woman. She's a woman. And she got elected to the bench judge. And that was like 2 years ago. She's not once ever sat in court. Not once. She's still getting paid her $130,000 salary. Not once has she been in court. And I think it was 60 Minutes or something was following her. She was out wandering about, big fat woman. But she's still wandering about and still doing her stuff. Not once has she been in there. Now, that state, the people who run the state are at fault there. They should have sacked her immediately. She's a con artist. But she's still drawing taxpayers' money. But that's happening all over America with people who don't love America, who want to abuse America, who want to use America. It's the same here in Britain. It's the exact same here in Britain. Yeah. Oh, and I seen another thing the other night. It was a bit encouraging. It was from Sweden. No, it wasn't. It was from Denmark. And it was Christian families are all beginning to drift now and move away to the countryside and form communities themselves. Yep. In Denmark. Now, we know we're friendly with a group of Swedes who have bought a village in Sweden, and they've built a big giant hall, bigger than this, 10 times bigger than this. And all the older people who've got a bit of money are selling up their cities, selling up the flats in the cities and moving there and buying 4 or 5 houses and then renting them cheap to the young people with families. So that's happening now. I know it's happening in France, around about the Nantes area. All the devout Roman Catholics, friends of mine, they've all moved to Nantes, about 20,000 of them. It's now happening. It's been happening in Sweden for a wee while. It's now happening in Denmark. And I think that is the pattern. And that is my honest opinion. We shouldn't really be engaging in any of this garbage because we're never going to change it. We should just be concentrating on our own people, building up communities of ourselves. Forget what the rest of the people are doing. Listen, we ain't going to convince them otherwise. Well, let's be honest. Let's just look after ourselves. And hopefully by our example, and the best way of teaching anything to anybody is by example, not by words. So that's what we need to do. I really believe that. Let's just do our stuff. Yep. McCarthy. Yeah, McCarthy. I like McCarthy. McCarthy I seen a documentary. They said he was a fanatical Catholic. Good on him. I wish we had more fanatical Catholics like that these days, I'll tell you. He was great, wasn't he? He was a great guy. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what we've got here now. Now, you know I'm not a Zionist. You know that. However, I'm not anti-Jewish. I'm really not. And I don't agree people inflicting violence upon Jewish people for any reason. Here's a wee Jewish man the other day. I think it was Manchester. Now, Manchester's got a big Jewish population. And a bit strange. I got booked to speak at a church once in Manchester. I don't know if I told you this. I arrived there a bit early, as I do, and it's polite to do so. And I walked into this big church, and it was such and such fellowship. I can't remember. It was some weird name, and I thought, that's a strange name. Anyway, I walked into this church. I thought, good grief. If I was running the wrong place, they all get the prayer blankets on, you know, the blue and white things, and round their neck and the hats and this thing, and some of them with ringlets, and they're all doing this, you know, doing all that. I thought, oh, I do beg your pardon. Sorry, I'm looking for a church. I thought, you know, this is it. I thought, is this not a synagogue? No, it's Christians. We're Christians. I said, really? See, I were Messianic Jews. Now I was young in the ministry. I didn't know what that meant. I said, right. So you were Jews converted to Christianity? They said, no, most of these came from Christian families. And I looked, and they had like a wee altar thing, and they had a menorah thing on it. I thought, what manner of tomfoolery is this? So I says, listen, you people are not right. I'm out of here. And I left. But anyway, Manchester's got a lot of Jewish people. And look what happened all day. A wee Jewish man's down the town, and Antifa was out. Now, tell me this. Why are Antifa not proscribed as a domestic terror group? Tell me. Why is not even Trump done it? Anyway, look at this here. This is disgraceful behaviour.
Content. It's now a violence, an outbreak of violence here in Manchester.
Now, you know my opinion on Israel, but let me tell you something without any shadow of a doubt. If I'd have been there that day, and I'm an old fella, I would have defended that. I'd have been in there amongst, I'd have been with him, and the two of us would get kicked about the place, but we'd have took a few of them out. I'd have been in there helping that fella out. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Isn't it funny? All the lefties always going about us being violent thugs and intolerant. Yet there's a wee man himself with a St. David flag, and they'll beat him up. They're like a pack of hyenas on the man. This is not acceptable. I mean, outrageous. They want to round all of them up and give them very lengthy jail sentences for their behaviour. This is just not acceptable. It's shocking. Anyway, I've got one more wee film for you. I'm going to get off here because I'm going to go home early tonight. I don't feel particularly good. It's been a horrible, horrible day. Anyway, have a wee look at this.
Because you'll have her in handcuffs. You'll have her in handcuffs for feeding birds and you're telling her she could defuse that situation.
Wait a minute, I need to get a bit of context. The guy's speaking in pidgin English, don't know if you heard that. This is a woman the other day, this week, feeding birds, pigeons, in England, just feeding the pigeons, just feeding the wee birds. And 6 policemen turned up and arrested her and handcuffed her. And there's a big Jamaican guy there saying, why do you do arrest this woman? So that's the context, or else you maybe understand it. He's a Jamaican and he's complaining, please, why are you arresting this woman? Leave her be, she's feeding the birds, leave her. Have a look, this is Britain, 2026.
Because you'll have her in handcuffs. You'll have her in handcuffs for feeding birds and you're telling her she could defuse that situation. Arrest the lady for feeding birds. You could have just tell the lady don't do that again and let her go on her business, but you'll want to arrest her for feeding birds. Bruv.
She chose not to comply.
Bruv, that's not a reason to be arresting somebody, man. Fucking hell, man. That's not a reason for you to have the woman on handcuffs, man. For feeding birds. For feeding the pigeons. The lady's getting arrested for feeding the pigeons, my lady. For feeding the pigeons. It's ridiculous. All right. Tell the police that. It's ridiculous. They're arresting the lady for feeding the pigeons. Yeah, but this is not good. Who's the victim of that crime? He's trying to tell me the council. Fucking hell with y'all, bruv. That's why I'm out here, bruv. That's malice. Boy, a good thing I come out today, boy. My lady, don't worry, my lady. Let me call Mr. Prince for you because that's right. Yeah, record. For feeding birds. The lady getting arrested, my people, for feeding the pigeons.
Well, I'm sure you got the gist there. I mean, seriously. This is a country where our knife crime's through the roof. We're the murder capital of Europe. Everyone's going mad. People have been mugged. You can't walk down the street. Women can't go about without being molested. And here we are. A woman's been arrested by 6 policemen, searched and handcuffed for feeding the pigeons. Everybody feeds the pigeons in this country. We're all on about feed all the pigeons and they'll land on you. And does she look like a dangerous, vicious maniac? She's a wee woman just feeding the birds, feeding the pigeons. What's wrong? That's where we are today. Where is the state of yep. It's crazy. Is that the Star of Rahim mentioned anywhere in the Bible? I don't know. But Roger, that's what we're up against. You know, in America, you get big problems. Should that cop or should that ICE guy have shot that woman 3 times and killed her? Weird debate here. Should that policeman went out and arrested this? 6 of them went out and arrested a woman for feeding the birds. That's where we're at here. That's where we are. It's completely mad. That's Ken Wood. Good release. Did she use that? I don't know what she used. I don't know. Maybe the pigeons are on a diet or something. I don't know. But this is outrageous. And that's what we're living with and putting up with day in and day out. I mean, it's becoming so crazy in this country. It's horrific. But anyway, that's enough for me. I just wanted to try this out today because we've been working so hard and Jerry's done a lot of work behind the scenes on the pods and we've had other people in trying to fix it. I think we've got it fixed. But a lot of people in Britain, it was working in America, but it wasn't working in Britain. So I don't know if there's anybody. Can I see anybody British here? Can I see anybody? I can't see anybody, if anybody's watching from Britain, which is typical. But it wasn't working in Britain, but I think it's working now in Britain. I think so. I hope so. So there we go. And again, we start a new year. I mean, you know, I've buried somebody every single day for the last 6 weeks. No kidding. I'm burying somebody else, I think, tomorrow. I'll just check. Marion, is Johnny Hewitt's funeral tomorrow? Do you know?
Yeah.
Johnny Hewitt?
No, I didn't know.
I don't know when. I think it's tomorrow. Anyway, that's a wee guy, born the same year as me, 1964. Born a week before me. He's a week older than me. And many, many years ago, I was telling Mitch Cameron, I won't get into the full story, but I was telling Mitch Cameron about it. He actually saved my life once. Yes, I swallowed my tongue, and he actually got it out because I was unconscious. I didn't know I was turning blue and everything. And he actually saved my life about 35 years ago. About 35 years ago. So, I'll just check. Sammy, is Johnny Hewitt? When's Johnny Hewitt's funeral? Is it tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
Don't know. Anyway, that's another one we're burying this week. It'll be tomorrow or Thursday. So that's another one. So that's 7 weeks in a trot off to a funeral. And he went in for just a routine operation, heart thing. Just the same as Scotty Green. And didn't come out of it. And I tell you, it's not often, I'm not down, don't get me wrong, I'm not down. But I'm not up. It's very often I get a bit oppressed, but I'm feeling oppressed. I mean, that's 6 weeks, 6 funerals, and especially that young fella that died on Christmas Eve. It makes you think, doesn't it really? It makes you think, folks. These were all relatively young men, and that was only a young boy. And it's just constant. This year has been, since the end of November, it's been constant funeral after funeral. And it gets weary, but we should thank the Lord because none is guaranteed tomorrow. Let's just remember that. None is guaranteed tomorrow. Now, let's see there just before I go. Brian Hope says, not fixed, Jim. You keep freezing. Oh, it doesn't matter as long as you can see me. The freezing might go away, Brian. Thanks very much for telling us that. At least you can see me freezing. Before you couldn't even see me freezing. We're getting there. Okay, Ewan says when Santa was never a star, David. Okay, Ewan's on the ball with that. And Bossum, good morning, Jim from the British Columbia. Oh, how you doing, my friend? British Columbia, yeah. Now, Ken Wood saying, how many slots are left for the night ceremony? I think there's only 3, is there? 3 left for the night ceremony.
Yes.
3. What's it? In Spanish, say uno, dos, tres. Is that Spanish or French? Spanish, isn't it? Uno, dos, tres. Yeah. So there we go. There's 3 left. Yes, 3 left. Incredible, actually. Incredible. So there we go. Roro said, cheer up, brother Jim, there in glory. Absolutely. Well, not all of them are in glory. That's the problem as well, brother. Nobody that dies goes to glory. I know we convince ourselves that. But it's not true. Some of them had no time for God at all. Thankfully, the young fella made a profession of faith last year. But some of the other ones, no profession of faith at all. The very opposite. They were very hostile to God. One of the guys, I won't mention his name, I had a conversation with him a couple of years ago, and he said, I have no time for all that. I don't believe in God. What a lot of rubbish. Why do you believe in God? You're a fool. He was still my friend, and I liked him. Nice guy. But just completely godless. So, no, he's not in glory. I doubt it very much. And that's another sad thing. But look, we go on, and that's it. We've got important work to do. I think we're living through one of the most important and changing times in history, probably since the Industrial Revolution. I think it's 250 to 300 years since we've actually been faced with such a change in society. But we're here, and I think it's a good thing we're here. We've got this stuff built here. We've got a house. We need to get this house finished, and then we can move on, and hopefully move on to something in America. So keep in your prayers that the money would come available for this. This is big, this is serious kind of money now. So let's just pray that we can get it done and trust in the Lord. So I'm going to leave you now. I don't have an end slate, but I haven't had this for a while, so I don't care. I think we'll have the old, if I can find it, where is it? Wait a minute. I've got it here. We haven't heard this for a while. We'll have a bit of the March of the Templars, won't we? I think we'll have a wee bit of that. So, yes. So I'm glad we're back on here. Just done this show as a wee trial, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know if Jade is on or I'm on or what's happening. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. If the worst comes to the worst, it'll be me. Look at this. Look at this. What are you doing? Are you chewing the wires? You stupid dog. Anyway, praise the Lord as well that the dog never died, because I'm very fond of that dog. And if that dog would have died, I'd have been taken to my bed for a month. But anyway, we're fine. Everyone's good. God bless each and every one of you. And until we meet again, let us remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Do us fall.